Hi friends, welcome to Educate 247. So if you remember, we had divided section 3 in actually two parts. So part 1, we had the previous video on part 1 for session 3 of book Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. So which is one of the most important book to develop your vocabulary. So in our part 1, we had actually discussed the following root words and the main words based on them were these 12 words which were discussed in part 1. So if you haven't watched the session yet, I request you to click the link in the description, and also we'll be having links for session 1 and 2 also, which will give you a better clarity to the words discussed in this part of the session. So, if you're new to our channel, I request you to click the subscribe button and stay tuned to the amazing MBA related content on our MBA Educate 247 channel. So, in today's session, we'll be discussing the words. These are the 8 words which will be based on the root words discussed in the previous session. So, let's begin with a detailed explanation. So, our first word here is philanthropy. So, philanthropy is basically relating to welfare. So, if you say it's the desire to promote the welfare of others expressed especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. Next word we have here is adroitness. So, adroitness is basically skillful or cleverness. So, if a person is skillful or is clever, he'll be termed as an adroit. Next we have is polygynist. So if you see polygynist, so poly and gynist. So if you see many is poly and gynist means giant, which is relating to woman. And here also we have second word with same. So here we have many, but here andrist is actually male. So let's look at a meaning one by one. So a man with 2 or more wives will be termed as a polygynist, whereas now you could guess the meaning for polyandrist will be a woman with 2 or more husbands. So actually they are gender opposites of each other. Let's move to our next word. So the next word we have here is anthropologist. So anthropologist is basically someone who studies anthropology. So anthropology is study, so logy is study, and anthropos, which means mankind. So the meaning is an expert or student of anthropology, means an expert or student who studies the nature, the behavior of mankind. Next we have is gynecologist. So gynecologist again, gyn means woman, logy means study. So if you see here, a gynecologist treats the overall health of their female patients. So he actually studies the gynecology. Basically, now the next word here is philanthropist. So, if you remember in our first part, we had the first word was philanthropy. So, now we are a person who does a philanthropy will be termed as a philanthropist. So, a person who seeks to promote welfare of others, especially by generous donation of money to good cause. So, person who actually donates money for welfare will be termed as a philanthropist. Next we have is asceticism. So asceticism is severe self-discipline and avoiding all forms of indulgences, typically for religious reasons. If you remember in our session 1 specifically, we had discussed the word as ascetic, so which was basically relation with ascetus, which means monk or laborious. So based on that, if you see a nature of monk, he has self-discipline, he avoids all form of indulgences and has typically for the religious reasons. So that's the 8 words. Now we'll actually try to understand the words discussed in session 1 also and session 2 together with a detailed table where we actually now have divided it as person, practice and adjective form. So this will actually help you in fill in the blanks and sentence correction, where we actually need the noun form, adjective form, the person, the practice. So this actually will help you then. So if you see, we have first word as misanthropist, and he does the action he does is misanthropy and misanthropic. Next we has is misogynist. The act he does is misogyny, and adjective form is misogynistic. Next is gynecologist, gynecology, and gynecological. Same we have as monogamist, monogamy, and monogamous. Next is bigamist, bigamy, and bigamous. Polygamist, polygamy, polygamous. Polyandrist, polyandry, polyandrous. Polygynist, polygyny, polygynous. Philanthropy, philanthropist, philanthropy, and philanthropic. Anthropologist, anthropology, and anthropological. So basically, if you see, we know the meaning of these words, but how to use them or how to identify them, where to use them, is basically the major motive to show you this table. So if you have observed here, the person is actually having a suffix, and the suffix is ist. So if a word having ist at the end, so it will basically means it is referring to a person. Similarly, if you see here in practice, majorly we have the words ending with y. So it's basically py, my, or ny, or dry. So all these words ending with y as suffix are actually giving the information about the practice done by person. The next we have is the adjective. So if you see an adjective, it's basically having IC. So IC, CAL, OUS. So these are the suffixes for adjective form. So if you have to use the person, he is a very misanthropic person, misogynistic person, gynecological abilities. So when you are using the adjective form, we'll be having these suffixes. So actually you could guess the fill in the if it's a fill in the blanks question, it will be helpful for you to guess the answer. Similarly for sentence correction. So I hope this part is clear to you. So this was specifically taken so that with vocabulary we could also explore the grammar side of the vocabulary. So now we could actually move to exercises where have actually having questions based on the part 1 of session 3 as well as part 2. So here is a short match the column where if you remember the words are from part 1. So let's begin. So the first word here is ambidextrous. So ambidextrous, if you remember, was someone who could use both his hands. The next word is dexterous. Dexterous was awkward. Next was sinister. So sinister was evil or threatening. Next was gauche, which was skillful. Next was misanthropic, so someone who hates mankind. Let's move to our next match the column. So here we have again, these were the words discussed in previous session. Anthropology. So anthropology is actually study of mankind or human development, if you see here. Next was gynecology. So gynecology is study of female ailments. Third one is monogamy. So monogamy is single marriage. Next is bigamy. So it was a crime or illegal of plurality of marriage, two marriages basically. Next is misogyny, which is hatred for women. Now next we have is again match the column, again covering some words from session 1 and the means part 1 and part 2. So first we have is polygamy. Polygamy was having two or more Wives, if you remember. So this will be one. Next is misogamy. Misogamy was basically hatred for marriage. Third one is asceticism. We discussed now only. It's relating to life of monk. So devotion to a lonely, austere life will be a asceticism. Fourth one is philanthropy, which is love for mankind or basically welfare. So it's love for mankind. Adroitness was skillful or clever. So we have fifth here. The final match the column we have now. So first is polygynist. So who is a polygynist? So we had these two words, polygynist and polyandrist. So one with plurality of wives will be termed as polygynist. So this is the one, and one with plurality of husbands will be termed as polyandrist. So now we have anthropologist. So someone, a student or an expert of study of mankind will be termed as anthropologist. A gynecologist will be one who studies women's, so women's doctor basically. And the last word we have is philanthropist, which is one who engaged in charitable or donation or welfare based activities and works. So that's all for today's session. I hope you have understood today the words discussed in today's session. If you have enjoyed it, I request you to click on the like button and also share this video with our friends. And also please stay tuned to our Educate 247 channel because we keep uploading amazing MBA related content. So thank you and have a nice day.